Electricity Minister Josienzo Ramogopa has defended the awarding of a tender to former Eskom COO Jan Oberholzer under the Battery Energy Storage Independent Power Producer Procurement Program. He says the process was transparent and complied fully with requirements. Mulio, a company chaired by Oberholzer, was announced as the winning bidder last week. This triggered criticism from the MK Party and the Black Business Council. Both raised concern about the company's credibility, citing Oberholzer's senior role at Eskom prior to his involvement. Business confidence dipped in the second quarter. The RMB-BR sentiment indicator declined by 5 points to 40. This implies that only 4 out of 10 respondents were satisfied with prevailing business conditions. Confidence is now a touch below the long-term average level. RMBs warn that the underlying results point to a loss of momentum in the South African economy, and that during the period just 2 sectors, namely wholesalers and new vehicle dealers, alternated to do the heavy lifting, but it was insufficient to lift confidence this quarter. 91 has posted a 4% rise in assets under management for the year ended March. That's after the asset manager benefited from a better second half. A final dividend of 6.8 pence per share has been declared. That takes the total payout to 12.2 pence, which is roughly in line with last year's dividend. 91 CEO Hendrik de Dooy says while ongoing economic uncertainty and market volatility are expected to continue, he's encouraged by early signs that demand is shifting towards the group's offering. Spar has reported a slight decline in earnings for the first half. That's as the group executes its strategic reset and streamlines its operations to focus on its core markets. Revenue from continuing operations remains stable at 66.1 billion rand. Spar says revenue growth was muted as consumers remained under pressure and Easter fell outside the trading period. No dividend has been declared. Hammerson's CEO Rita Rose Gagny has announced that she will retire in 2026. The property firm says she will be with the company for the next 12 months. This will ensure continuity while a successor is chosen and a smooth handover of responsibilities. Gagny says the business is in great shape and she feels that it's the right time for her to pass on the baton. In international news, the U.S. tariff rate on most imported steel and aluminium will double as President Donald Trump ratchets up a global trade war on the same day he expects trading partners to deliver their best offer in bids to avoid punishing import tax rates on other goods from taking effect in early July. Let's take a look for more detail.
Higher U.S. tariffs on imported steel and aluminum kicked in on Wednesday. Late the day before, Donald Trump signed a proclamation that put into effect his surprise announcement from last week, when he said he would double the levies from 25% to 50%. White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett said the move came after analysis showed the steel industry needed more help. The increase will apply to all trading partners except the UK, which is the only country to have struck a trade deal with the US. Its rate will stay at 25%. But the country is not a major exporter of metals to the US. Canada looks set to be hit hard by the new increase, however, as it's the top supplier of steel to America. And Mexico, another major exporter, said it would seek an exemption.
En primer lugar, no creo que se puedan sostener en el tiempo porque es un arancel.
Economy Secretary Marcelo Ebrard said the tariffs were unfair, as the US has a trade surplus in steel with Mexico. Wednesday was also the deadline set by Washington for nations to submit their best offers on trade. That's if they want to avoid Trump's hefty Liberation Day tariffs taking effect in 5 weeks. Those duties were imposed, then paused for 90 days to allow time for talks. The White House says it has sent a letter to trading partners reminding them of the deadline. It asks countries to list their best offers in various sectors, and says they will get an indication of the likely response within days. At issue for most nations is whether they retain the baseline 10% rate set for most shipments to the US, or face a sharp increase. Japan said it had not received any letter regarding the offer deadline.